There you have it, the finished result. I left a gap there so you can get the weld inside, in between there.
Shut up and sit down.
Welcome back to Swedes Garage. My name is Eric, and today we're gonna see if we can fit the drive shaft between the angle gear and the rear axle. So stay tuned. It's time to start with the tunnel. I did some pre-cut here on this, man. Now I lost the word again. Oh, I got it. Cross member. That's what it's called. I did some pre-cut in the cross members because I'm going to cut the tunnel from the inside. So let's turn it over and start cutting. I think we used a plasma cutter for this one. It's a lot faster than the angle grinder. So let me set up the camera and we'll start. It's really smoky in here now. That's why I don't use the plasma that often. I see I have to do some cutting from underneath here. But I'm going to take 5 now and let my fan suck out most of this smoke in here. You're not supposed to breathe it, so I'll take a 5. So here we go. The tunnel is gone. I might have to cut a little bit more up here, but that's no problem. I'm going to use the 850 bracket for the carrier bearing because I have it, and also it's very strong, so it will give some extra, a little bit extra support at the side impact. And the carrier bearing is on the other side here, and the exhaust comes here, so it's kind of a protective shield for the heat from the exhaust to the rubber on the carrier bearing. So let's start by putting this on the drive shaft. I have it here on the floor. I don't know if you can see it, but like this. And I'm gonna the rear one I'm gonna keep the same length. Here's the front one I'm gonna shorten. Not bad. That's gonna work pretty good. This it needs to come up. Needs to be like around here, I think. I'm gonna try to grind the weld off this drive shaft so I can shorten it what it needs. I'm not going to weld it together, I'm just going to put a spot on it, a tack to keep it together. Then I'll leave it to somebody to weld it and balance it later. But I need to get the right length to be able to do all this stuff. Let's see if I can separate it. Okay, so put it up in the vise now. And this is completely the wrong way of doing this. But I wanted to tell you that I'm aware of that. But I'm doing this an easy way instead of the hard way. Because normally you should separate this U-joint. So you only have this shaft to work with. I'm going to replace this U-joint, but I don't have a new one now. So I don't want to take this take it apart and then put it back together, and then when I get the new U-joint I have to take it apart again. So that's why I'm leaving this on here. But normally you should remove this because it's a lot easier to work with just one piece than the whole thing. And secondly, this should be cut off in a lathe. I don't have one, so I gotta do it the way I can. So I'm gonna do the old school where we grind off the weld and then separate the tube from this, I don't remember what it's called, this part of the U-joint. But anyway, it's got a little, it goes in the tube a little bit, maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 millimeters or something. So I'm gonna grind off this weld. I'm not gonna film it because that's kind of boring. So I'll get back to you after I grind it off. There we go, I ground that down. But you don't know where the joint is. So I gotta cut this 130 millimeters. So I'm gonna cut it off 30 millimeters. I'm gonna cut it. And then this 30 millimeters tube that's left here, I cut it open from this angle and kind of remove it. And then I cut another 100 millimeters and we got the right length. So let me do that and I get back to you. So to get a straight cut with the angle grinder, I took a piece of paper, wrapped it around, and some spray paint. And if I move this paper, you get a nice straight line around the whole drive shaft. So you can cut it really straight. Easy. And there we go. Cut off. And you see inside here, there you got the plug, or whatever you want to call it, that goes back into the tube. Now I just have to remove this 3 centimeters, cut this one another 10. I'm going to cut it, actually going to cut it 95. I'd rather have it a little bit too long and you can cut it again than make it too short. So we'll see if this plug, if it fits easy inside the tube, I cut it 90 and test fit it and see how much more I need to cut. Like I said, better too long than too short. So let's see if I can remove that piece of metal around the plug. So now I got this far. So this means that where the tube is breaking off, that's where the weld starts. So now I'm going to take the cutting wheel and cut this all the way around, and I can get this, what's left of the tube, get that away. And what's left on here, it's the weld itself. So I just grind that down after I get the metal off. No problem. This doesn't take long at all. I mean, it's just a couple of minutes between my filming. And there it is. I just used my air hammer and it came right off. Now I'm just going to grind down the weld. I wish I had a lathe, but I don't. So, hand tools. I'll get back to you later. Now I'm finished. I took the cutting wheel and cut so I got a sharp edge here around it. It's like a stop. I did that with the cutting wheel. It's made around, and then I ground down the rest. So I tried the tube, and it's very snug. You have to kind of hammer it in, and that's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a press fit. So I'm not going to put it on there until I cut it to the right length. So let's cut off 90. I cut it 95. I'll get back to you after I cut it. It's cut. I'm gonna clean up this end and try to bang it on that other piece and see. Let me see if it's correct length. This is exciting. What if I made it too short? Shit. Oh, anyway, they got plenty of these drive shafts in the junkyard. Let's put it together. There you have it, the finished result. I left a gap there so you can get the weld inside, in between there. So I think maybe it's a little bit too long, but that's just good, because I don't know if the transmission and the angle gear is going to move anything when the engine comes in. So I'd rather have it a little bit too long. We'll see when I put it in place on the car. Cool. So, will it fit? Let's try out. It's on the floor here between my legs, and I already attached the bracket that holds the carrier bearing. So let's lift it in place and see if it works. It fits perfect. So we're gonna start doing the mounting this bracket so it comes in the right position. So I'm gonna flip the car over on its back, so it's easier to prop this up and check the angles on the drive shaft, the line up with the angle gear and also the height of it, so it's as straight as possible. So let's start checking if this trumpet, everyone call it, if it's leveled. So let's take this one, put it on here. It needs to go down almost 1 degree, and that is because it's touching under here and also laying on that one. So I just cut the corner off here, and I'm gonna get a little bit more clearance under here so we can get it to level out. Let's start doing that first. Most important things: earplugs and face protection. Never forget that, boys and girls. Now I cut a notch in there, and I also cut this in an angle. So let's see if we can get it up in the right level. Let's turn on the gauge reader. Take a piece of wood and prop this up. So I got it 0.2 degrees. Piece of wood isn't gonna make it final. I just wanted to see what clearance I have here to make the mount over here, and I think I got enough. So first of all, I got to do this mount to secure it in place at a 0 angle. So when the mount is, before I weld and screw the mount to the body, I make it 0 on the angle reader. So I gotta figure out how to do the mount now, so it's really secure to the body. Here I made a bracket. Gotta drill a hole in it and weld the nut. So when you attach the front support there, you just screw it in a welded nut. And this one will be welded to this bar that's going across the whole thing. That is sandwiched with this one. So it's sandwiched the thin sheet metal in the body with this one. And that one is welded on the inside of the car. And that's welded to this one. So you can remove it if you need to. I don't know why, but I'm doing it that way, removable, just in case. So let's continue with this one. I fixed it, rounded the edges, welded a nut on there. Man, the welder is like perfect now. When I fixed that wire feed on it, it's like night and day. So anyway, let's put this on the rear axle and kind of see where we're gonna weld these bars on. Let's do it. Let's see if we can get this puzzle to go together. We got this bracket here with a welded nut on it. So, big washer and a bolt. So let's do this one first. Like so. And we have this one. And because it's a step here, I put some washers, whatever you want to call them, on the back side. So it's lining up better. So let's drill a hole here, and I'm going to do on the other side too. That way we can hang this up, and we tack it to this one, and then I can remove it and weld it properly. So let me drill this up. It's going to be awkward. I can't weld with my left hand. So let's remove it and weld it together. Finished with this. So I welded this on, inside, outside. I made the opposite one. So this is going together like this, squeezing this part of the body, squeeze it in between. I'm pretty sure it's going to be strong enough, because factory they only have a thin sheet metal bracket. It's wider, but it's still only sheet metal. This is made out of 5mm. So if this is gonna come loose, it's gonna have to rip the body with it. Plus this is gonna be, when I build the tunnel, this is gonna be reinforced too. Not like this swivel up. So what I'm gonna do now is I have two things on the inside here I have to remove. This one will lay flush against it. So I'm going to flip the car over and remove these two. And then we put this together. And this one will stay where it's supposed to stay forever. So let's do that. Because when this is all tightened together, this piece is going to be welded to the body. So, but I got to tighten it together first. And now I see, I'm lucky I stopped here because I forgot the washers. There's a dip here too. So I need to put washers in this one, and this one. But it still fit, this one. Damn, the drive shaft is almost inside the car. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Will it hold? I think so. I mean, it was a lot weaker from the factory. This is stronger than OEM, Volvo. So it should hold. And you squeeze the whole area here, squeezed together. Well, that's it for this week. It's Friday afternoon, it's 3 o'clock, and I gotta get my daily driver in the garage this weekend. So
I can actually fit 2 cars in my garage. It's just, I'm standing by the garage door now, so I'm gonna pull my daily driver in. So the 460 You tip it on the side and it fits in that corner there. It's not much work you can do with it, but at least I don't have to have my daily driver outside all the time if I don't want to. That's all I had time for, sorry. So we'll continue with hanging up the drive shaft in the next video. So I gotta clean up a little bit here and move this one aside so I can get in my daily driver. So I guess you'll see you in the next video. Take care and have a nice weekend. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And I hope you like what I'm doing. That's why I'm sharing this with you guys, because I'm hoping that you like it too and see how I do things. I'm not a professional. I mean, I've been working on cars for 30 years, but I've never done this big of a project. Never. So I'm new to this, and I learn from my mistakes. So you have a nice weekend. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!